Welcome to another episode here on my channel. My name is ChaosMole, and today we are watching together the Biomutant Explanation trailer, which is about 6 minutes long, and the developer slash publisher THQ Nordic has just published on their YouTube video. A few things before we are jumping into this video. I am in the lucky position right now to already be able to play Biomutant. Thank you very much, THQ Nordic, for the key there. Unfortunately, I'm not allowed yet to put any content out with that version I have. There's an embargo. But you will see some more Biomutant videos now in the next few days here on my channel. So if you are interested in Biomutant, keep an eye out. And yeah, let's have a look. And I will also comment on a few things and try to maybe answer a few things here and there, which they're touching upon in the trailer. Keep in mind, I have to be careful about what I'm saying, because as I said before, I'm under embargo, and I have to be careful, but we will definitely find a solution for this. So with that said, let's have a look at the new Biomutant Explanation trailer, and I hope that I don't really have to explain much, because it's an explanation trailer, right? So let's get right to it, shall we? This is rated T 14. And by the way, if you're wondering, I'm watching this live with my community.
So, what is Biomutant in a nutshell?
On my live stream.
Biomutant is an open-world, post-apocalyptic kung fu fable. Basically, in terms of structure,
yes,
it's like Zelda Breath of the Wild, I guess. But the feedback that we've been getting over the years, it's that it's kind of a strange, weird, good mix between Ratchet and Clank, Devil May Cry, Batman Arkham, and a couple of other influences. So it's truly an open world game, 8x8 kilometers, filled with a lot of
it's a huge world,
events and fun things to find.
But with a lot of stuff in it.
Thing that we worked a lot with is,
wow, that's an interesting mount. I haven't seen that yet. Ooh, kind of spooky.
The possibility for the player, to set the attributes, and in Biomutant, that's tightly connected or integrated with the way that the character looks. But
I will do a specific video about the character creation coming up very soon.
Breed, we call it a breed, but mammal, if you will,
and what the differences are.
A lot of assumptions on,
like, I will do a deep dive video about that, because it's very important.
I guess the team, we have allowed the player to make what I call, more like a Muppet.
They are looking so wild, man.
And with character customization, it goes all the way down to crafting bits onto your clothes or hats or pants or whatnot. I guess the most important thing is the arsenal of the weapons. I mean, it's an action role-playing game.
There's tons of crafting. Like, keep in mind that you can completely craft a weapon from scratch.
For weapons and gear also comes with like a material.
Like, you're basically choosing like every part of the weapon to put it together, and it looks like this.
More damage.
And yes, there will be a special video about that.
Just mentioning that you don't have to repair, but you can actually upgrade things that are broken, but they will never diminish in terms of their material qualities like itself.
That toothbrush, man.
In the game,
I haven't found that yet.
Different tribes, so they're all composed of
those are the factions.
A Sifu, if you will, that have mastered a specific Wang Fu combat style and trained his disciples in that. So these tribes are now in conflict.
And you have to decide which tribes you want to follow.
Aura. So basically a good karma, if you will, if you want to paint it black and white. And there are 3 tribes that have like a dark aura. Eventually, at the start of the game, you will find that you have to choose an ally. So one of these 6 tribes. As you move along or go further into the game, you're free at any time to change your allegiance. But at the start of the game, you choose one of these 2 tribes. And basically, at that point, the state of the world is represented by a huge tree that's at the heart of the 8x8 kilometer open world. So it's a representation of the world either going under or the world surviving. So this is all tied to the tree of life.
And you decide What is happening with that tree?
A light or a tribe, they want to save the world, so make sure that the tree survives, and also then uniting the other tribes, whilst allying with dark or a tribe would mean the opposite. They believe that the only way that you can move forward is to make sure there's kind of a cleansing, I guess. So making sure that everything that's bad in the world kind of goes under, so you have a rebirth and start anew, if that makes sense. So you're very free to make this choice, but also bear in mind that that will affect the ending of the game.
Yes.
Obviously, game being called Biomutant has to have some form of mutations slash abilities, right? There's quite a wide range of them.
Oh
Primarily, we
yeah.
have the biomutations, so those are kind of more physical abilities, if you will. For
This
example,
is
you
a
can
dark
spawn
ability they
mushroom in
just
front of
showed.
you. That
It's a
has
little bit
multiple
like,
uses, if I
but we
use
will
that
talk
one
about
as an
that when they are
example,
done.
in terms of creative
Let's
freedom for
talk
you as a
about those
player.
things a little bit more when they are
Combining
done.
this jumping up on the mushroom with, let's say, just electricity shooting out from your fingers, like the Emperor in Star Wars, or once the character is airborne, like your enemy,
Which is
just
hilarious
going
because
up
it's a
there,
light ability.
unleashing some other kind of strange abilities. I don't want to go into all of them, but the other aspect is the psi mutations. So those are more like your, X-Men style abilities, if you will. Like, for example, levitate, which again can give you both exploration opportunities, but also then you can use it
I
in
think
combat
levitate
in
is
conjunction with
a
other
light
abilities, and
ability.
obviously ranged combat. So that will give you an advantage, I guess. You're wanting to keep on exploring the world
That mount.
because you're wondering what's going to be, around the next corner. And I guess the hope that we have as a group, as a team, is that that's going to be the unifying factor in terms of people playing the game and giving us feedback, that it's notable that the game has a soul or a vibe that is a little bit unique and special. That's my highest hope for the game, I guess.
So far, everything they have explained is exactly like they say in the game. And it works like they explained. So let's talk a little bit about the features they have showcased here, and I will talk over them. Exploration is definitely a big part of this game, as they mentioned before, and the word is big. It's a big word, but it doesn't feel necessarily empty. Like, you have a lot of those open world things where you're just looking here in the background. Like, you can see it here in the video. I don't even have to mention anything from the game itself, but by just looking around, you have all those points of interest which look kind of curious from afar. Like, you can see like a tower here, or this weird green smoke, and you might wondering, oh, what is that? And hey, Beaver, good to see you. Like, you have all those interesting lookouts, like this one, right? You will see this area from afar, and you will be like, huh, that looks interesting. Maybe I want to check that out. Like, there are tons of points of interest on the map, and I think that can be really cool in exploring a world like that. We had too many games in the past where you have huge worlds, and because people are always asking, like, how big is the world map? How big is the game? Because in their minds, it's like, the bigger the world map, the more content there must be, right? But what we really got in a lot of games is huge worlds with not much in it. Unfortunately, one of the games which really started to do that as of recent, and I'm a little bit sad about that, is Just Cause. Just Cause 2 had a much smaller map than Just Cause 3 or even 4, but there was always something going on, even though Just Cause 4 got much better at that. Like, they got smaller than 3, and they had much more to do in it. But especially Just Cause 3 was this game where I still would say nowadays, half of the map they could cut out from the game, and everyone would be cool with it. So, if you have a big map, make sure you fill that map with things to explore and actually having meaningful stuff happening in it. Character creation. As I said, I will prepare a special YouTube video for this when the embargo drops for Biomutant. I have already worked that out. Character creation is a huge thing in the game. Will it make or break your character? No. But it has huge implication on where you want to go with your character and which class you want to choose in the game. So it makes definitely sense to have like a deep dive video about what to expect. You can also see like how they are switching between the classes here, which is kind of cool. But we will talk about that when we get in closer. Character customization, as they have already said it in the game, I will make an extra video for this as well. And you can nearly customize everything on your, like, not so much on your clothes. Like on the clothes, it's pretty simple. They show it here that you are finding clothes in the wild and then you're putting add-ons on it. And then those add-ons will improve the stats on your clothes, right? Like that's what you were doing here. But when it comes to weapon design, like you can completely craft or change a weapon from scratch. So you can see like the multiple points you can put a weapon together, right? And they're not using a stock for this weapon, and every time it would change the stats. And yeah, you just create your own weapons and see how it works. It can be completely and utterly bullshit what you just did, or yeah, you just creating an awesome weapon. Like they give you the complete freedom. When you start to craft a weapon, there's nothing there. Like you choose every part which goes into the weapon. Of course, given that you need crafting materials, as you can see here. If you don't have enough crafting materials, you cannot do what you just wanted to do. So that's pretty simple. You can also upgrade your weapons, as they said. They do not deteriorate, which is good. But yeah, you can upgrade your weapons at those upgrade banks, and then make them better. This looks so stupid. They're talking about the tribes here. So as I said, there are 6 tribes in the game, 3 good tribes, 3 dark tribes. I don't really want to use the term good and bad. It's really more like light and dark. But there are, again, a lot of nuances to it. So they also said here that you have to decide right at the beginning, like which of the two tribes you want to join. And I don't know if you can actually postpone that. I don't know if you can say, nah, I don't want to join any of the 2 right at the beginning. I want to wait a bit. But as I said, you can very much like change your alignment at any given point. And I assume this has also something to do with you becoming more dark or becoming more light. Like keep in mind, like every choice you were doing in the game, you can make a good choice or you can make a bad choice. And then there is a dark and a light meter, and you will slowly move to one of the sides. Like there's more to it, but unfortunately I cannot talk about it yet. It's a little bit more complicated than that. But yeah, you can see the world map here. You see also like tons of teleportation points you can just teleport to. So even though the world map is pretty huge, you have a lot of means of fast travel. And yeah, you can also capture the different areas in the game, as I show it here, for your faction, which is pretty cool. Let's see what else they're talking about. The mutations are coming up, right? Oh no, this is the tree of life. Like as I said, depending on your choices, And depending on which faction you are following, you make the decision of saving the world or cleansing the world, which is rather interesting. But yeah, there are a lot of choices you have to make, and some choices are subtle. It's not one of those games where they're asking you, and now please make a good choice or make a bad choice. But it's always like clear where things are going to. Like, you would not get a bad surprise out of this, where you make a choice which you thought would be good, and then the game is like, nope, that was a bad choice, now we punish you. No, that's not happening. Well, I haven't seen that yet. Here are the mutations, which, as I said, are like abilities you can just unlock through multiple means. This one, in particular, I don't know the name of it, I always forget it, is a dark ability. So it's a little bit like Star Wars, right? Where you have the Sith and the Jedi, and then depending on which, like, if you're going dark, you're getting specific abilities which you can only utilize if you are aligned with the dark side. And of course, the other way around, if you are getting only specific abilities when you are aligned with the light side. But this is a dark ability here you are getting when you are dark enough. I think lightning is actually a light ability. I think it is. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, you can see the lightning they're using here. I think that's a light ability, if I remember that correctly. The same goes with levitation. There's also, I think, a light ability, so you have to be aligned with the light. And it's pretty cool that they're doing that. That you were getting like certain abilities only when you were aligned with dark or light. Of course, you're getting tons of neutral abilities, so you don't have to fear that most of the abilities are behind dark or light. Like, most of the abilities are actually neutral. Yeah, as I said before, like, exploration is a huge thing, and you will find tons of interests and interesting characters you can talk to. They can give you a quest, new equipment, and so many more things you can just find and unlock by going around the world. Like, exploration is a huge thing. I wouldn't say that the game is taking you by a hand. Like, it's not a sandbox by any means, but the game leaves you a lot of freedom. Like, tons of freedom, which is great. So, yeah. That's the explanation trailer of Biomutant, combined with me talking a little bit about it. There will be more videos coming up for Biomutant here in the channel the moment I'm allowed to do that, and I'm allowed to talk a little bit about it. Keep in mind, if you want to see this game live, we will start our full playthrough of the game on Monday, the 24th? Yeah, the 24th of May at 11 a.m. ET, which is 4 p.m. GMT and 5 p.m. Central European Time. And that's where we are playing starting our Biomutant playthrough on trovo.live/ChaosMole. You will also find the link in the description if you want to join us. And again, there will be more Biomutants coming to the channel, and especially when the embargo drops, we will have much more here. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like, and if you're new to the channel, you want to see more Biomutant or new games in general, and sometimes even long before they are coming out, make sure that you are subscribing to the channel and you are getting notified when the next video is going live. Again, thank you so much for watching. See you next time. Stay safe. Bye bye.